Well, good morning. It's another beautiful day in Central California, middle of July. Going to get close to 100 today. So my project for today is this. Like a lot of you, we have bought a Starlink Generation 3 system for the trailer. I've watched a lot of videos of different people mounting the hardware for this in different ways. Some of you guys put them up here in the ceiling. Some of you have them inside the trailer, hooked up to a more complex system. But I think for my case, what I'm going to attempt to do is to get this back behind this basement wall. I plan to put a power strip here. I plan to bring the Starlink cable up through, let's see if I can get where you can see it, that little hatch down there in the bottom of the bay. Since there's already a hole, I don't have to drill a hole into my trailer. And I'm going to breach this wall with this little guy. This is just a connector that allows me to pass a cable through. So it'll be located here somewhere, right in here. And I'll have a small patch cable that goes from that side to the back of the router. So everything will live behind this wall. I'm fortunate on this trailer because there's a break right here where I can take things apart pretty easy if I need to get back in there. But I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this yet. So I'll bring you along and we'll kind of figure it out. I did choose a metal bracket over a plastic one, hoping that maybe the bouncing wouldn't damage this one like it has some of the plastic ones. So there's a fair amount of weight on it. So we'll see, you know, how this works. But anyway, give me a few minutes to get started here and I'll bring you back and we'll see what's behind this wall. Okay, I've got my bracket mounted. I was only able to get 2 of the 4 screws in, but it's pretty solid and it's not a lot of weight sitting on it, so I don't think it's really going to be an issue. If it is, I can always drill holes through the bracket and put some more screws in it, but I think right now it's going to be okay. So now I have to mount the power supply and the router into this little holder, and it's still, even though you can probably see there's some little pads that they gave me to glue on. Let's see if I can get where you can see it. It's awful small. To glue on to the mount to help it, you know, things not slide around, but it's still kind of loose. So I've got to come up with a way to secure that in there. So now it's time to put the pieces in place, run the wiring. I've still got to come up with, I have to breach this hatch for the power cable to come through. And that's not going to be a problem. I'll just drill a hole in that. And then I've also got to drill a hole for this little guy to go through. So let me figure out how I'm going to do all this and I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, so now I've encountered my first challenge. And I say it's a challenge because I'm sure everybody deals with this. Even with the little foam pads they give me, this thing can move around way too easy back here. I've got to do something to secure it in place. And my first thought was a couple drops of hot glue right on this mount on the top, just to give it some resistance from sliding. And I have the same issue with the router itself. So I think I'm going to try that first and see how that holds it. And then I'll, if that works, I'll put the router back in its spot and do the same thing to it. Because I don't want those things sliding off the, you know, vibrating off those that bracket back there. So, I mean, I could do a little L bracket on each side for the power supply to hold it in place. But I don't know yet. I have to figure this out. Okay, I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, I've been spending a few minutes doing some layout, trying to figure out where everything's going to go. And I've kind of figured out I want my power strip about right here. So I've kind of sectioned off where I want that to be. I'm going to bring the power from Starlink out this hole and into the power strip. And then I'm going to put a hole down here for that little adapter that goes here to plug the Starlink into the actual Starlink cable. So I think I've got it all figured out. Let's cross our fingers and see how it goes. I'll bring you back in a second. power for the Starlink. Okay. Now, I've got that stuff done again. Now I can go about resecuring everything in here. Kind of a ballet, isn't it? All right. So that for you that were watching and said, no, no, don't use hot glue, I heard you. I came up with a better idea. Okay. Now that is in its final place. But there again, it can move. So what I did, let me get my light source back here, is I made some paper or electrical tape shims and went up underneath this bracket. I lifted it up. I have one of these little tools. They're for working on your interior panels of your car and stuff. And I just stuck it underneath there, lifted it up a little bit, and put a tape shim underneath it so it can't slide. So I'm going to do the same thing on the front of the Starlink, but I gotta go get my tape shim. So there's my little shim right there. It's just electrical tape folded over on itself 3 times. My dad used to tell me when I was a little boy, you can't fix everything with electrical tape. And you know, he was right. But man, you sure can help a lot of stuff with electrical tape if you're careful and use it the right way. Well, maybe not on this one. This is a little stiffer piece of metal. There we go. Okay. You can see my little tape shim there, and it gives it just enough resistance. Well, it's supposed to. That didn't. Let's push that down in there a little further. The plan was it would give this just enough resistance so that it wouldn't slide easy. There we go. So now I've got that my little tape shim in. Everything's plugged in. I have to just now mount my power strip. So I got to turn this back up right side again so that I can start hooking things up. Be right back. All right, here's the cable that goes from the Starlink router. It's going to go to this on the back side. I'm trying to figure out if I want to try to get that in there now or whirl it around first. I think I'll whirl it around. It plugs in there. And then when I bring my Starlink cable underneath the trailer through the little port down here, it'll plug in there. So that's good. So far I'm happy with all that. Now let's get the power strip mounted and see if this thing's going to work. I'm sure you've all seen this trick before, where you take a piece of paper, cut it to the size of your power strip, lay it on the back, and take a pencil on its side and trace where the openings are. If you guys have a better idea on how to do this, I'd like to know, because this is the only way I've figured out how to do it. But if you've got a better idea, don't keep it to yourself. Put it down in the comments for me, will you? Okay. So I've got power that comes into here for Starlink. Goes right there. I've got the signal that comes in from Starlink there. Let's see. This power is going back and tying into the power supply, as it should, right back there. This cable is the actual Starlink cable. That's going to go back in there as well. I like to try to neaten these up a little bit with some zip ties and see what I can do. Some light in here for you. Okay. So I've got everything in there buttoned up, best I can anyway. And I've got my cables kind of managed so they're not just all over the place. Power into the power supply, cable into the router. That cable runs to here. This is the power for the power strip. I'm going to do something with that once I get this thing buttoned up. I think we're good. Okay, well, with a little cleanup done, I think we got it. Won't be able to test it, of course, till I pull out, because I'm in my storage spot here at the house, so I can't put Starlink up. But and I have it paused right now anyway, so which I very much like that feature available. So anyhow, thanks for watching along. I'll bring you back when we get ready to go and I pause Starlink and I put it up, and we'll double check everything. I'm sure everything's fine, but you never know. Anyway, see you then. Well, today we're going to continue with our Starlink installation on the fifth wheel. I chose to go with the Flagpole Buddy Starlink kit for the G3 dish. And I did that for a couple reasons. I really like this feature. And we'll show you this a little further along. But it allows you to put this thing together really quick and easy. And I'll show you all the parts as we go. But I just kind of had everything laid out on the workbench this morning, so that I could make sure I had all the parts. I got the poles in the house. I haven't brought those out to the shop yet. And unfortunately, where we store the trailer, I have to move it to get at the ladder, because this thing all mounts on the ladder. So I built this spring. I built this little shade to keep the sun off the back of my trailer, because it just cooks it when it's in storage. As you can see, I can't get to the ladder. There's just too much in the way, and the pole has to go up over the top. So we're going to pull the trailer out a few feet, and then I'll start the installation, and I'll bring you along for that. Okay, so I got the Starlink mounted on top of the trailer. I didn't show that because there's a ton of videos on how to do it. But in here, it's just dark, not very easy to see. That's not going to help any at all. So as I showed in the video, all the Starlink equipment lives behind this little thin wall, and I've got it coming through and plugging into a power strip, so that's how I turn it on and off. And then the cable for the Starlink goes through this little connector down through the bottom of the bay and just runs along the back. Again, excuse my mess, I am stored here at the side of the house, so it's a little tight. And then there it is. I didn't show the installation of the brackets. There's about 100 videos to show how to do that. It's just really simple. Four bolts for each bracket. It comes in and out really simple. There are some cable clips to hold the cable so it doesn't rattle around, you know, in the wind. I did not put those on right now because it's just temporary. But I did get it set up. It's very simple. Once you get it aimed where you want, the pole sets in this little cup right here. That light's not helping us at all, is it? And there's a little screw right here that you tighten up. Let's see if you can see it right there. And it keeps the pole from twisting in the wind. You can get extra poles if you need to go higher than this. This is just a 2-pole setup. See, 1 and 2. And it comes with a bracket that goes in the bottom of the Starlink. But really simple, guys. We also have a little tripod for it, so if you know we're underneath trees or something and this isn't going to work, then we can set it on a little tripod. But this is, I think, what we'll be using the most, and I'm happy to have it. Can you see up there? Okay, this is how you take the Starlink down. Just lift this out, tilt it, it comes out of the bracket, and you just bring it down. Easy peasy.